I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow. They told me.
One's up behind the net. And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the corner. United States with numbers. Watch across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
Tommy, I just want to let it play.
Free bird, rock, flag, and eagle, Josh.
Hell yeah.
That was for George Washington.
What is going on, everybody? Are you jacked? You should be jacked up. This morning, happy Monday. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor is out. It's a Monday.
Petition to put Jack Hughes on Mount Rushmore starts today.
Approved. That's Tommy Wirtz filling in again on a Monday. Tommy Mondays. I love them. And I love all of you being with us here to celebrate a golden Monday here in the good land. The U.S. men's hockey team takes care of Canada. We're going to get into it. That plus baseball is back and just so much more.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's great. We're so excited to talk about it, and we're excited that all of you are here as well. If you didn't just see us rocking out, that's because you're listening, which is good. Listen, but also watch. You can watch us on Twitter and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Make sure to do that as well. All right, Tommy.
Yeah.
We always get into playing catch up. We're going to get to that in a second. But first, the hockey game was everything.
The hockey game.
All right, let's start. That's right. Let's start with exactly what everyone was talking about before they won, which was the start time of the game. It wasn't about the fact that, hey, this is a huge opportunity, America. It was, you want me to get up at what time?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing?
I mean, I'm the guy who has been on the Mason Crosby show who has complained about time zones. I am the guy. Not for this game, okay? I'll wake up for my country at 7 o'clock in the morning. I have no problem with that. But I get it. I don't think people understand that it's a different time in Italy than it is in America. Like in a lot of places in America, it's different, right?
Why aren't you making it about what's convenient to me?
Right, yeah.
You expect me to get up and have my cereal and watch this?
Do you know
game?
what time is it? What time it is in Milan right now?
I don't. But it's late afternoon. I'm gonna say it's like I'm gonna say it's noon.
It's 1:05.
Okay,
it's 1:05.
All right, pretty close.
So the game started at 2:05 Milan time.
Right, which is a perfectly normal, fine time for a game to start.
Right. Yeah. No, not for America.
No. And now everyone was upset about the time, just to then have it to where they win in overtime. Jack Hughes with the game winner there, as you heard, courtesy of NBC. And then it didn't matter. Then it didn't matter what time it was.
No.
Because they won. And Freebird got to play, and that's all that mattered.
Right, and the game ended around 10 a.m., so even if you slept in a little bit, you got to see the fun stuff at the end as well. The goal was awesome. I mean, Hellebuck, too. Connor Hellebuck.
The save.
I mean, the save. You want to talk about the save.
For Canada. There's Vince Marner. Marner touched the net. Oh, Taves had a wide open goal. Put it through the crease. Let's take a look.
Marner looks for Taves on the backside. That puck's going in. He got the paddle bush.
Wow. Incredible. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
save.
it really was. You know what this reminded me of when you look at like just this game? did it not remind you of kind of like those monumental moments in 2021 with the Bucks? You had like the winning save, the winning goal, like those moments that happened throughout the series all happened in this one game.
Yeah. Yeah, and
crazy.
It felt like I was like getting back for the Four Nations as well. Remember the Four Nations last year? Really got into that. I mean, and the NHL did a fantastic job putting all that together. And I mean, we're going to talk about it later on in the show. Something about nationalism with hockey, right? And they have a stranglehold in America specifically, maybe more so than any other sport. I can only see it rivaled by soccer across the world, but hockey in America, like there are so many fans that pop up every 4 years, right? Or now it's going to be every 2 years with Four Nations and with the USA hockey team. But it was fantastic. The save was great. The goal was awesome. Eat it, Canada.
Yeah. USA forever on the 46th anniversary of Miracle.
Well, and that's the
day.
Like now you can't be like Tommy wasn't even alive for this. Like Josh, were you even alive the last time?
No.
Right. That's what I mean. It's been so long, and I can't believe it's been that long with how successful the hockey team has been over the last few years. Truly awesome to see them, and the women's team obviously getting the gold too. Like hockey runs through America now.
Yeah, it does, which is absolutely awesome. All right, back in the state. Let's play catch up.
Packers.
Boom. Packers. All right. So no for sure huge Packers news, but according to Bill Huber, Elton Jenkins is as good as gone.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk to Bill Huber about it. We got Bill Huber. He's going to join us on the show at 7:25. Find out what his sources are, what he's seeing of why Elton Jenkins is as good as gone, and then find out what that means for the team and for the league going forward.
The part that scares me the most about this is that he's the only name listed.
Right.
Because Rashawn Gary is also a candidate in a lot of people's
which
minds.
should be number one on the list.
You would think.
Is he not number one on everyone's needs to go list?
I think Elton Jenkins got really screwed moving to center as far as all of it goes, because now he's got the $19 million cap hit as a center or whatever it is. They saved $19 million. And it's just hard to justify that for the center position for a lot of it. Plus, when Sean Ryan came in, they probably got better as an offensive line during that stretch. But Rashawn Gary and Elton Jenkins, if you combine them, it's $30 million they save, and they're just over the cap. So one of them's got to go for sure. Jenkins is the more money. I still would like to see both.
Yeah, both is the correct answer. All right, Brewers. Baseball is back, Tommy.
Dude.
Saturday, we had spring training baseball, which was just awesome.
Awesome. So good to see. Hey, and a new Brewer making a big impact in his first spring training action.
First pitch swinging, sent deep out into center field. Back it goes. And this one is gone. Akil Baddoo. That's why he was signed to a one-year deal in the offseason. 430 feet to straightaway center.
I love watching baseball, Josh. I'm sorry.
You should apologize.
I'm so excited for baseball. I'm really just over every other sport, it feels like at this point. I need those USA hockey moments to get me back into, no, I just like sports and not just baseball, but I've been praying for baseball, and I finally got my answer this weekend.
Yeah, baseball being back is fantastic. It's, to me, it's always been, Tommy, it's more than just baseball, right? Like baseball is about more than just baseball.
Yeah.
It's about like living in Wisconsin. People always say, well, Wisconsin's a baseball state. Oh, okay. Well, it's because it's cold here a lot. But when baseball's happening, it's not. And so it gives us hope. It gives us that sunshine, that light that we need of the end is coming, which we talked about last week. We had Doug Gottlieb on his regular Wednesday hit, and he said it was like 60 degrees that day. And he goes, so winter's over. Trevor and I are like, no. Next day, it was like snowing. And now it's been cold again because this is what happens. But knowing that baseball is back soon, the snow will all be gone, and we'll be able to fire up the grills and enjoy some baseball, some winning baseball as well.
Yeah, and on top of it, the Brewers, if it was your first time seeing, had a pretty good weekend in ABS challenges as well. Obviously, we saw it a little bit last year in spring, but there were some issues across Major League Baseball with it.
That was like JD trying to figure out Japanese last year.
Yeah, yeah. Here comes a challenge. Carson's going to challenge his breaking ball.
We're back.
He heard you.
Like, you know what? Got to change it up a little bit.
I think we may have a malfunction in the ABS. Here we go.
I just want you guys to feel this. This
the,
could be you.
Big video board here in the ballpark.
There's so much pressure on the replay monitor right now.
Yeah. Let's put pressure on a computer. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
And if it doesn't work on the screen, now the home plate umpires have
We're 40 seconds
communication where they will get the call.
Yeah, they will eventually at some point, right? He's still waiting.
That's why they have spring training.
Yep, spring training for computers. Good. Okay.
I think we need to come up with a more fun graphic.
Oh, the graphic.
MLB.
That's the problem. Yeah. And eventually the call will be made, right? Still going.
You're just waving it off.
Yeah, just going to wave it off. Yeah, it's done. That was a minute and 2 seconds right there for the call to not even be made. And maybe it's the complexes or whatever. I'm just saying that the Brewers, you could really see it in action where if the umpire's having a bad day, it's annoying. It's like, okay, like I get it. It's a bad call. Now you're just putting more pressure on this ump who's probably like crumbling as everyone in the stadium knows that his calls suck, which maybe they should. All right. I'll get behind you on that.
Sure.
It still doesn't help my fan experience.
Yeah, of course not.
So
we're going to see this all the time. ABS already in midseason form.
Yeah, correct.
Can't wait. All right. We're going to talk a lot more about the Brewers later in the show as well. Don't miss it. 8 a.m. Jeff Levering, the man. I love Jeff so much. So excited for Jeff to join us. You're not going to want to miss that at 8 a.m. Let's move on to the Badgers.
Badgers.
So the Badgers took care of business. They beat Iowa 84-71. They're now 19-8 overall, 11-5 in conference. 4 games remaining. Next comes on Wednesday at Oregon. Tommy, at this point, do you see anything happening one way or another in these last 4 games with the Badgers that is like super impactful from a seeding standpoint?
Nah, maybe if they make a run in the tournament, I think they're going to be pretty locked in as an 8-9 game. Maybe they can go to a 7, and if they win the Big Ten tournament, maybe they go to a 6. But as of right now, no, I think there's a couple things that happened against Iowa that we all knew. Carrington's very streaky player, went for 20 the game before, went for 0 against Iowa. Nick Boyd is probably one of the more important players in the Big Ten, depending on whether he is going to have a monster day or not, can decide on whether or not the Badgers are realistic or not in the NCAA tournament. And Austin Rapp, another guy that they've been needing another big out there, needing another guy to help them out. He's also playing a huge part in a lot of big victories down the stretch, too, for this Badger team. So I'm optimistic. I still think that this team can be a Sweet 16 team. Just like 2 weeks ago today, I thought they would be a Sweet 16 team.
Yeah. That being said, I don't know that these remaining 4 games are going to have any impact, really.
No, they'll be a 7 to a 9 seed.
You split them, and then it really comes down to what do they do in the conference tournament, Big Ten tournament. If they make a lot of noise in the Big Ten tournament, maybe that moves them up or down a peg on Selection Sunday, but otherwise, no, I don't really think that's going to
currently
make a big impact.
Right now in the Big Ten, the Badgers sit at 6th behind Michigan, Illinois, Michigan State, Nebraska, Purdue.
Yeah. So I don't, and I think that if they're in 5th or 4th, I don't think it matters. I don't think that they look at the standings overall in the Big Ten conference the same way that they do other conferences. They're looking at, quad 1 wins and all that other stuff that comes into play. All right, let's move on to the Bucks. The Bucks won a game. Their first game back on Friday against the Pelicans. Yay. And then they got trounced 122-94 by the Raptors yesterday. And we're going to get into this later in the show. We want to know your opinion. If you're not going to be with us in the 8 o'clock hour. Let us know now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. What will be the Bucks' final win total, and is it what you wanted? Is this outcome, and not obviously looking at your expectations beginning of the year, but let's talk trade deadline. From trade deadline on, there's been a lot of conversation about, do the Bucks tank? Do the Bucks not tank? Do the Bucks make it into the play-in games? What is the outcome for the Bucks? We want to know what you think that final outcome is going to be, and is that what you want to happen, or did you want something else to happen? Because I'm pretty sure the tank's over, right? Like, can we just say the tank is dead? Long live the tank.
Well, the mindset of the tank is over. The execution could still look like tanking.
Right.
They could stink so much that it looks like they're tanking.
Right.
But I don't think they're trying to tank.
Correct. But should they be? I don't know. We'll get into that later in the show. All right. Anything else?
Anything else?
Yes, there is. First of all, back to the Olympics for a second. Jordan Stolz had his fourth and final race over the weekend, and he did not medal in that race. He took fourth. He finishes his Olympics over there in Milan with 2 golds and 1 silver, which is incredible, which is really, really good. And yet, I feel like a lot of us were like, hey, you won the first 2, and everyone was talking about if there was one he wasn't going to win, it was supposed to be the 500, which he did win.
Mm-hmm.
So then the expectations became, this dude's going to run the table. And then he didn't. And then he got silver, and then he didn't medal at all. I'm not, I don't know. I don't know enough about what goes into that at all. We still have the Kowalski kid coming home with 3 medals and 2 of them being gold. Good for him.
Good for him. I think that he's got plenty more to do as well. I think we did the math last time. Like, he's got at least 1 more Olympics before he's, Apollo Ono's age to try to go for reference there. And 2 gold medals ain't too shabby. Michael Phelps might have ruined it all for everyone, just winning 8. Right?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like swimming, Summer Olympics are completely different. There were also things that said that 12 gold medals for the U.S. Olympic team this year is the most winter gold ever for the U.S.
Okay.
So this was the U.S.'s best gold showing ever.
Yeah, final medal
With
count
12.
from everyone there. Norway went with 18 golds. That led the way. They had 41 total. USA, 12 golds, 33 total was second most. Netherlands, Italy, the only other 2 nations with 10 golds, with 20 medals for the Netherlands, 30 for Italy. Top 5 gets rounded out with Germany, 8 gold medals, 26
The Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So very exciting. I can't wait for now everyone to stop caring about 90% of those sports, because that's how it works. That's how it works. We care about it when you're representing the country.
Canada win the gold in the curling?
Yes.
I mean, even after Fingergate?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's sketch, man.
Oh, totally sketch,
bro. Just saying.
Not a good look. But they lost. They got a lot of silver as well, especially in hockey.
Right.
Shout out to all the silver they get.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing that happened was UW Green Bay had quite a weekend. So first they had their Gottlieb-less game on Friday. Saw some people in the crowd there wearing hashtag Free Doug on their clothing in protest of Doug Gottlieb not being able to be there. They won that game 73-68. Awesome. You saw them, celebrating in the locker room. But then they go and they lose to Detroit Mercy yesterday, 74-70. And now they have one more game against Youngstown State on Saturday, and they're up 1 game in conference play over 3 teams. So, kind of important. Take care of business, win that game, secure that 2 seed, make sure that they get a home game in the Horizon League Conference tournament, which will start. But there's a bigger point here talking about the Gottlieb-less UWGB team. Okay, and the reason why I say that is something we're going to talk about, and I have questions, and we want to know your opinions as well. But, man, Doug Gottlieb has made some noise. He's made some noise at UWGB, and we just found out over the weekend that another coach in the state of Wisconsin who made some noise is moving on from his team in Wisconsin. We're talking about Matt Walker, who's been on this show, and he was part of the UW. He was a coach of the UW River Falls team that won the D3 championship, and he's moving on. He's moving to D1. He's moving on to Drake, And it has me wondering, UWGB fans, are you worried about losing Doug? Is the impact that Doug Gottlieb making something that fans will be worried about after the season?
Well, and I think it's Doug's nature. I think he's very authentic when he coaches, but his authenticity like brings attention, right? He's someone who's loud, he's animated, he's obviously has a great basketball brain, but there's way more attention on UW Green Bay basketball than there ever has been, and that is because of Doug Gottlieb. Whether it's his recruiting, his antics, his suspensions. I mean, one suspension, not anything else,
Yes.
but still, like,
yes,
he's making noise. And he is always auditioning or interviewing when you are at a school like UW Green Bay, just like Matt Walker was at UW River Falls. You go win a national championship, there's going to be some FCS program willing to give you a shot. So I do think that if Green Bay is able to make some noise, they're able to make a tournament run, that is going to be definitely something on the table of if Doug Gottlieb is the UW Green Bay head basketball coach next season.
That's one of our questions for you, and I have questions. What questions do you have? Fire them in now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. I have questions coming up next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out, Tommy Wirtz in, and I am Josh Albrecht. Thank you for joining us bright and early this morning. We are live from the Potawatomi from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports. Stay with us. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor's out. I'm Josh Albrecht. Tommy Wirtz is in for him.
What's up?
And hey, Tommy, just so you know, we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, just in case
Nice.
you were unaware.
Nice.
And if you missed it before we went to break, we already started the questions. We wanted to get your questions in. We're talking about a few different topics this morning. A lot of questions going around, a lot of things to discuss. And we appreciate all of you listening all over the state on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, including 99.7 WNFL in Green Bay, 93.9 The Game in Wausau, 710 The Game in Duluth Superior, and 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan in Milwaukee, where Tommy and I are. You can, of course, make sure to follow us on social media at WI Sports Radio. I'm at On Air Josh, and Tommy is at Tommy WSSP. It is time to ask and answer some questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line is open, 414-677-1250. You can text us. You can call us. You can ask us your questions. We'll give you an answer. They might not be the correct answer, but you will get an answer. All right, we go to the phones now. Who do we got right now, Tommy?
Yeah, so it kind of stems from, we were going to do this question anyway during this, and I wanted to know if Wisconsin could become a hockey state. And then I got a call in between here. Great name, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Thomas is in La Crosse, wants to talk some USA hockey. What's up, Thomas?
What is going on, Josh? What's going on, Tommy? Where's Trevor today? Is he
Trevor
off?
just takes off every Monday. Yeah, that's what he does now.
Oh, every Monday?
No, it's not a real thing. It's just been me the last 3 Mondays. Yeah, yeah. What's
just
up?
Some calendar issues. What's going on?
Oh, no issue at all with that. You guys both do a fantastic job. Obviously, yeah, yesterday, congratulations, by the way, to the USA men's hockey team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tommy, as I talked to you off air here, USA hockey is indeed golden. And not only that, but I think this gold medal, for me, feels more than just a trophy. Obviously, you have the whole country banding together, uniting as one, and absolutely behind this team the entire way. And I think seeing the youth on this team too, and knowing that they were only playing with like a few NHL players as well, is absolutely mind-blowing as well. And again, it makes me, if we go even deeper now, it makes me wonder if moments just like we saw on Sunday really can shape the future of hockey as a whole. Whether with the Olympics, the NHL, amateur hockey as well, et cetera, et cetera. And not only that, but what an Olympics for the U.S. team as far as gold medals go, too. We look more from an eagle eye view. And I think that those 12 gold medals really shows what happens when we have these Olympians coming together and believing what's possible. And it's crazy to think, y'all, that these Olympians are just like regular Americans too. The regular people like me, you, and Trevor, and everybody else. You know, it's quite fascinating to think. So my question, I guess, for you is when you're the bottom of the hour here, is this: do you think the Team USA is building something here as it relates to the Winter Olympics? If you look, maybe like Michaela Schifrin. We're not really going to talk Lindsey Vonn. She's getting up there in the age, and I feel like she really should call it, because otherwise she's going to really just be putting more stress on her body and everything too, and anatomically and medically speaking. You just broke your ACL, and then you went out and then you played on it, further risking even more damaging injury to that knee and et cetera, et cetera. You get where
I appreciate it, Thomas. Thanks for the call.
That's what I got for you guys. Hey, can I get philosophical here and leave you with some motivational wisdom?
I guess, yeah.
Trust.
Yeah, we're in the trust tree. Go ahead.
Trust the process. So I want to leave you guys with this. Stop hating yourself for everything you aren't, but start loving yourself for everything you are. And I think that's so true for you guys too. You guys are fantastic. You guys work your butts off every single day. You put in the hard work. You guys, I see the behind the scenes stuff that you do, not obviously visually, right? But more so in a figurative sense. You guys put in the hard work. Everybody at the station, whether it's Mitch, whether it's Sparky Pfeiffer, shout out, whether it's Mason Crosby, you name it. You guys do a fabulous job. I hope you guys keep up good work. Have a fabulous week. Boom shakalaka, and everybody go for your dreams, baby. This
Look
is
at that.
Thomas from La Crosse, and we are out on this Monday.
Look at this,
man.
Thomas,
give him a show. Yeah, give him a whole one.
I think he brings in a good point, and just talking about this, and it goes off of the question a little bit of like if Wisconsin could be a hockey state. We might talk about it a little later on, but Mike Tirico had a really good close as well for the next generation of hockey athletes in America, to go off of Thomas's point.
Because of a drought that almost lasted a half century, those teams are revered. They are held on to forever. And what happened today doesn't take away from the greatness of those teams or the meaning that those teams have in U.S. hockey. But what you saw today was the build of a generation, inspired perhaps by that team that lost in 2010 in Vancouver to the Sidney Crosby golden goal in overtime. Or the team where TJ Oshie had all those shootout goals in 2014. That's when these guys were doing what you're doing, watching on TV. And they were young, and they were living the dream. So for all the young people out there, not just the hockey, but all the Olympics you've watched, those dreams are formed now. Go chase them and go get them. Because our country loves sports, and it brings us together unlike anything else. And if you didn't know that, and if you haven't been watching the last 2 weeks, you saw it in Team USA Hockey, winning the gold over their arch rival Canada here in Milan to wrap up these 25th Olympic Winter Games.
I mean, first of all, Mike Tirico's a GOAT, and we can talk about that. But man, that guy is doing and crushing everything right now. But to answer Thomas's question, I don't know necessarily that the events that just happened here are going to have a huge lasting impact on what happens next for the sport of hockey. And it's easy to say that right now, right? We go through this with the World Cup. Every however many years that they do the World Cup, it's all soccer. And if America even has a sniff of being good, then it's, oh my gosh, look at what this is going to do. Now people are going to start watching, blah, blah, blah. I think that hockey in general is a good sport. It does not get the credit it deserves, especially in the state of Wisconsin, because we do not have a pro team. We do not have an NHL team, which we will discuss later in the show, Tommy. But I still don't think that this is going to lead to something to where the NHL is going to blow up now, because I feel like there's still a huge reason why people were watching was because of it being the U.S. representing. It was the patriotism that goes along with it. If that aspect isn't there, there's going to be a huge part of this audience that doesn't feel that juice.
Sure. Yeah, but also, I mean, you saw Four Nations did really well last year for the NHL All-Star Game. The two programs at the University of Wisconsin hockey team are both highly successful. Obviously, the women's is the best in the country, and the men's always putting up fights every year too. I just think that they have some opportunity. It would probably crumble the Admirals, which we wouldn't want to see if they had an NHL team.
Sure.
But I think the state could do it, right? They have the Pettit Center as well. Like, it's dominated some talks over the last Winter Olympic Games with some of the people from Wisconsin. I know they had a chance to do it in the 90s with Lloyd Pettit, but he withdrew his expansion bids from the high costs, which they have to pay because of an original 6 rule with Chicago if they want expansion. They had an opportunity to save some money on it, because I believe relocation is different than expansion. So the Arizona Coyotes, when they left for Utah, Milwaukee could have absolutely been part of that for a much more reasonable price during it. I just think that that's probably where I contribute. Like, I'm not going to be a Blackhawks fan. I'm not rooting for Chicago. And Minnesota Wild or Detroit Red Wings, like, again, just doesn't do it for me for the geography. Is there a lot of Predators fans in the area? I don't see any Preds jerseys. I know PK Subban. That's about as much as I
there
go.
are, because the Admirals are the AHL affiliate to the Predators. You do see it at Admirals games. You do see a few Preds jerseys because of the players that get called up from the Admirals to Nashville. So there is a little bit of a connection there. It's a fair argument. There's so many things that would need to go into it, and I look at, I mean, listen, the Badgers, how many women Olympians did we see that play for the Badgers right
and
now?
Canada played for both.
I mean, right. So not even just on the US side of things. And are those games sold out? Are we seeing, those Badger hockey games constantly? Is there a wait list for tickets? I don't know. I feel like it's different right now on how we're viewing hockey because of the fact that it says USA on the front of the sweater. That's my main takeaway.
And I think we get sucked into that with a lot of sports, right? I mean, no one watches curling other than this time of year, and everyone seems to know how those rules work every 4 years. Same with speed skating, same with anything really in the Olympics in general, right? I mean, how much track and field are you watching when it's not a gold medal race? How much shooting are you watching? Clay pigeons, whatever it is. Like there are very few sports that are in the Olympics that you keep track of outside of the Olympics.
That is true. There's more reasons to why hockey is different. And a lot of us don't realize why if you're not part of hockey culture. But one of those was celebrated after the men won the gold. And we're going to end up playing that and talking about it when we come back in the most electrifying sound of the day. You're not going to want to miss that. Plus, we got a lot more coming in the 7 o'clock hour and the 8 o'clock hour. We got Bill Huber at 7:20 and Jeff Levering joining us at the top of 8. Stick with us. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out, Tommy Wirtz in. I'm Josh Albrecht, and we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day.
The most electrifying
On Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
All right, there they are paying homage to the late Johnny Gaudreau. And there's Mr. and Mrs. Gaudreau. Johnny meant so much to a lot of these guys on this team. And I live in the Philadelphia area, and I can tell you that Johnny Gaudreau is an absolute hero in the Philadelphia area, in South Jersey in particular. So many kids look up to Johnny Gaudreau and model their game after him. What a moment.
Dylan Larkin and Zach Wierenski have gone into the stands to go get Johnny's kids. They're going to come out now, and they are going to hold their dad's jersey and get a picture with the gold medal team. You talk about sports, and you talk about the togetherness of a team. If you've ever been a part of a team, you know what it means. And when we say lifetime bond, it means lifetime bond.
And that audio is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Absolutely awesome moment. If you are unaware of Johnny Gaudreau's story, he was a hockey player. He was killed by a drunk driver, him and his brother, back in 2024. He was set to be on that U.S. Olympics team. And them obviously honoring him after winning the gold, and then grabbing the kiddos, his two kids, from the stands, bringing them on the ice. Just an awesome moment that was like, if you weren't already like feeling super emotional, Tommy, throw that in the mix of just seeing his kiddos brought out by that team.
Yeah, absolute tragedy births that beautiful moment between Gaudreau's kids and USA Hockey. Some things bigger than the game, man, right? And cool to honor Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. Just an awful story. And, you would have loved to have him there to be a part of that moment of winning that first Olympic gold medal since the Miracle 1980 team. But they create a different one through that with his children.
Yeah, and I mean, those are the type of stories, right? That I'm not saying that type of stuff doesn't happen outside of the Olympics, right? Like we see heartwarming stories all the time. In sports, right? That's one of the beautiful things about sports. But that to me is just another reason why you're already feeling such emotion with your patriotism, the pride that goes along with that moment, to then see that type of story too. Like that's what all plays into it. And that's why I don't know that it hits the same way if hockey is just being focused on a national level through the NHL. I just don't know. We've had a lot of people chiming in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Jason on the 920 says, you don't know about hockey because you pay no attention to it. Josh, you're an NBA guy. I've been telling you all season about hockey. Okay. He goes, I know if asked this before, would you rather have the Bucks or an NHL team? Second, would an NHL team be more successful in Green Bay? Hockey is more popular in northern parts of the state as well. That coming in, that from Bob in Minneapolis as well. So those are good questions. I don't know if people realize, like, cities that have NHL teams, like that's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a major franchise. And there's a lot of things that would need to happen to sustain it, right? I love the Milwaukee Admirals, but they are a minor league team, right? They are relying on the Gin Blossoms coming and playing and having post-game concerts, which I heard that was a great show, by the way, that happened over the weekend. But, you're looking at these type of things too, because they're getting cheeks in the seats in any way that they can. NHL is different. This year going for the sport. Have you been to an NHL game, Tommy?
I've never, no.
Yeah, so I've been to one, and it was actually in Minnesota, and it was the Wild versus the Blackhawks. And, yeah, I mean, it was electric. It was an absolute electric factory.
Yeah, I remember going to Admirals games at the Bradley Center and having a great time. I've also went to Boston BU game versus Maine. That was awesome when Macklin Celebrini was there. And that was a great atmosphere, great time. Bob in Minneapolis chimes in, says, I know I've asked this before. Would an NHL team be more successful in Green Bay? Hockey is more popular in the northern part of the state,
Right.
question mark. I think we're already working with a really small market of a Milwaukee area to try to hold a team in any sport. And not that it isn't sustainable, like what the Bucks and the Brewers have done, but when you go to the 5th most popular sport in America, maybe even lower than that, like now you're trying to grasp at straws going with Green Bay, I think. And I don't see them being able to sustain hockey there. And now JB just chiming in, Green Bay most definitely not large enough to sustain hockey.
Right. And you also got to look at, the fact that the states surrounding Wisconsin have NHL teams. Like all those things play a factor. I'm not saying I would love it. I would absolutely love if Wisconsin had an NHL team. I just don't know that it's going to happen. And I feel like this question comes up every 4 years. When people really, really, really get into hockey, all the casual fans that don't watch hockey every season and don't watch NHL hockey go, man, I sure would if there was a team in my state. And I don't know. I don't know if there would be, but I will tell you one thing, Tommy. People are absolutely we're getting into the Olympics and getting into this team. And I think it's because winning changes everything.
Yeah. We're trying to fix the culture of hockey in America, and the way you do that is by winning a gold medal, right? Did you when did you first find out? Like, I did not know it's been since 1980 that they won a gold medal. Like, that's crazy to me. That is actually bonkers that it took them that long. And I know obviously Canada and Russia and you name it, the other countries that do well, Sweden in hockey, like this is still feels very unreal that it took this long and 46 years to the date.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't until these Olympics started and I started doing research and seeing everything else in that way. Right. But to your point, there have been a few Olympics that have been played since 1980, and it wasn't something that people are talking about every year. And this U.S. team was different, right? They said that this U.S. men's team was going to be able to get to the podium. Maybe not win gold, but get there. They knew that they were a good team, which made the whole narrative different than that miracle team in 1980. Either way, it was great. It was awesome to experience that moment. The patriotism was amazing. We also talked about how great it was that baseball is back. And that got us thinking about spring training and why we love spring training so much. And that's going to be something we're getting off our chest in the morning mind dump. We want to know what you have to get out of your mind and off your chest. Get them in now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. We got the morning mind up coming up next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Up behind the net. And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the park. The United States with numbers. Rock across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
You know what I just thought about, Tommy?
What's that?
Is this the last day to we're out of the open? I'm playing Freebird.
I don't know. How much does the bird cost? It's free.
Well played.
Mm-hmm. God, this song rips.
It so does.
Normalize Freebird.
Welcome into hour 2 of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out today. Tommy Wirtz in for him. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Shout out to all of you joining us across the state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Shout out America.
Yes, shout out America.
If you're listening anywhere in America.
Yes.
And you like hockey.
Or if you just like America.
Yeah, facts.
Because you're golden. You're golden this morning.
And you like watching winning hockey teams.
Because that's what you saw. We appreciate all of the text reaction we've gotten this morning on all of the topics we discussed in hour 1, including talking about if there is going to be a huge increase, an uptick in viewership for hockey in the United States after these huge games that happened, both gold medal winning for the women's and men's teams. The 832 chimes in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line and says, another thing to remember is that the game yesterday is a collection of the best players in the world. That was probably the most skilled competitive game you will see. Night in and night out in the NHL is great, but not at that level. It's a good point.
Well, it's so dumb, right? Because it doesn't feel that way about any other time in any other sport when it's like this. I mean, the NBA and basketball in the Olympics is not as entertaining to watch by any means. And we'll see what flag football does for everyone in the next one, but I can't imagine that's going to be as must watch as any random Jaguars Titans game on a Sunday. Like, hockey's got something going when it comes to the nationalism behind it. Everyone wants to get behind USA Hockey, maybe more so than any other NHL team, but they have a stranglehold on that for sure.
We want to know what you need to get out of your head or off your chest because, Tommy, you just said they have a stranglehold. When it comes to games that don't count, spring training has a stranglehold. We're going to talk about it in the Morning Mind Dump.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. That's where you get things out of your head and off of your chest in a segment we call the Morning Mind Dump. And, Tommy, my mind dump this morning is based on spring training. So the Brewers started playing baseball, not just warming up, not reporting. They're playing games against other teams at the park there in Maryville. The games mean nothing. They don't count, right? It's no different than preseason basketball, preseason football. It is the records don't matter. It's kind of like whose line is it anyway? The games are made up and the points don't matter.
Nice.
That being said, they're 0-3 in spring training in their 3 games that they played. They played 1 on Saturday, 2 yesterday, and they've lost all 3, and yet we don't care. We are more excited about spring training than we are any other type of non-meaningful games in major sports. Why is that? What is it about spring training that makes us care when we see, we want to know what Jet Williams did. We want to know about the home run that Lockridge hit. What is it about spring training?
Well, it's definitely a land of opportunity for those fringe guys, right? And everyone's
but is that not the case in the NFL?
It is.
When you're watching family night and preseason football, right? You're seeing the same thing. They're getting their opportunities. It doesn't hit the same.
I also think that with Milwaukee being the cold and lonely state that it could be in during this time of the year, it's nice to think and live vicariously through the Brewers in Arizona at the moment. So I think that probably helps it out. The hiatus baseball has taken. We haven't seen Brewers baseball since October and kind of let the bad taste in our mouth the last time we saw the Brewers play any sort of game. And now this is a brand new year. There's some anticipation behind it as well with a 97-win season a year ago. And the Milwaukee Brewers now get that chance to start tinkering with that lineup. And I think that's something that also has to be brought up is that, these are not going to be any, there's going to be a lot of guys you don't see play in baseball all year that are playing in these games right now for the Milwaukee Brewers. And they're getting their efforts done to try to find something that pieces it together. There've been some things that we've seen that we liked. The Lockridge homer was cool. Akil Baddoo, Brock Wilkin went yard as well during one of those 3 games. And just seeing Jet Williams and Bryce Terang and Jake Bowers pull a double play was like just the gold. That was my gold medal moment yesterday.
Yeah. Seeing Jake Bowers do his thing.
Yeah, he picked it. Because of course you can.
Of course.
Can pick it.
Yeah, if you're unaware, Tommy is in love with Jake Bowers. Number 1 stan for Jake Bowers.
Thank you.
Is Tommy Wirtz. I still think there are different factors that go into it. And if I'm being honest, I wonder if spring training is getting more love this season than it has in the past. And I wonder if that's because of other things going on around the state. Trevor and I talked last week about if the order for people, because it's always been, when it comes to importance in Wisconsin sports fans' lives, it's always been Packers are number 1. And that might not be the case right now. The Brewers might have taken that spot from the Packers.
No.
Well, there are a lot of people that chimed in and said that they agree. And I said it's because winning changes everything.
Sure.
And the Brewers have been making noise, and the Packers have settled for the 7th seed the last 3 years. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I will tell you this, that I think for sure the fact that the Brewers are coming off of the season that they did, and that the Bucks are having just a terrible time right now, is why people are so hyped. And then when you throw in the fact that the Brewers are so focused on this bag of prospects, right? That's all we've been talking about all offseason is, well, they've got these guys. We traded Freddie for even more guys. We have all these prospects. Well, where do you see prospects play? Spring training.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's why this year we're more dialed in and focused up on spring training, but that's just my opinion. I want to know, am I wrong? Am I right? Do you not care about spring training? Let us know, 414-677-1250 right now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line.
Well, Jacob and Tosa saying, I think that spring training, especially in Wisconsin, is the promise of warm weather, tailgating, and lake days ahead. Also helps when there is a lot of hope for the team. So kind of both of our points being elevated there with your take on the prospects and mine on the weather. I think that, Josh, the Bucks do play a role in this too, to your extent. The Bucks, you say that you think baseball is rivaling with football, and I don't think that at all. And as someone who probably likes baseball more than they like football,
Sure.
I can understand why football is the mega sport that it is compared to baseball in this country and this state specifically. I do think that the Bucks and the Brewers are much more comparable. Not that the Bucks are rivaling them right now, but that's who Milwaukee is set to be competing with on a yearly basis because they're in the same market and the two sports are very different. When the Bucks won the championship, I would argue the Bucks were more, and like with your winning fixes everything, the Bucks were a more popular entity in 2021 than the Brewers were. Since then, maybe I would lean Milwaukee Brewers during that stretch, but they are trying to compete with the Bucks when it comes to popularity in the state, more so than they are with the Packers, in my mind.
Okay, but the Brewers, it's not like the Brewers had a terrible season in 2021.
Sure.
It's not like they were coming into that season.
Did they win the World Series?
No.
No,
sure, but I'm saying...
Did they lose in the World Series?
I'm saying think about where they were at this point, right? So it's obviously when the Bucks were winning a championship and post-championship, like, yeah, people were caring a lot more about what the Milwaukee Bucks did. But I just feel like it's looking at overall, you're talking about games that don't matter. These games don't matter.
Yep.
Like at all. And you think about what's the main conversation that takes place when it comes to NFL preseason games? Do you play your starters? Do you play them at all?
Right.
Because you risk injury. We literally have the conversation of, does it even make sense to have our guys go out there? We're not talking about, well, what about the tickets? We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Okay. Have you seen anybody that talks about at spring training going, I don't want to see Yelich at the plate? Don't have Woodruff on the mound? Those are conversations that don't take place. And it's because people get hyped for spring training. They're just like, yeah, baseball is back. Let's go. This is great. And I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm trying to get it out of my head, the frustration of figuring out, why do I care so much about spring training baseball?
Because you just like baseball, bro.
That could be it.
Yeah.
It could just be because, but I like football too.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't like football.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones here. Who do we got on the
let's go to John and Franklin, line
right.
1 here. You're on Inside Wisconsin Sports. What's up, John?
Hey, guys. Yeah, this probably isn't necessarily the call you're looking for, but I'm just going to keep the cards on the table. I am not and I'll tell you what, I'm all into the hockey win yesterday, but I'm not a big winter guy by nature. I'm a warm weather guy. So when I hear pitchers and catchers reporting, don't get me wrong, I'm encouraged. I follow the scores, but I'm not seeing what happened. And it's just, I'm 59 years old, guys. I've been doing the fan thing for a long time. And for me, I've seen it with the Packers and with the Brewers, where they had this big head of steam, in spring training, and exhibition football, and I haven't seen it translate. But I think it is a little different this year because of Mate and Pena and some of these guys coming up. I mean, we can't help but kind of keep an eye on them and just hoping, I know there'll probably be call-ups later in the fall. But, obviously we are going to. So this year, I guess it might be a little bit different.
John, if the game was just on at a bar or in your house, would you sit and watch it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think accessibility is also a problem with this, John, where it's like some games are only on the radio. Brewers TV only has a couple of them. We still don't even have a channel for cable packages right now. And meanwhile, there will be a local affiliate that picks up every single preseason game in every single market for the NFL.
Thanks for the call, John. I appreciate it. Yeah, John, listen, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to know, right? John essentially said, years past, it wasn't that he really cared about it. You're interested a little bit selfishly because you're shoveling and they're playing baseball, and so you're going, oh man, that sounds nice. I can't wait until I get to go watch baseball and have shorts on and not have to worry about the weather. But otherwise, the only thing that might really play a big factor is, as John said, the bag of prospects. It could just be this year's different. But Tommy, it's not like we haven't had prospects before.
Sure,
it's
but it's a good batch. It's a really good batch right now going on. And I think that, again, last year maybe has more impact on this year in my mind than the future does on this year. I think winning 97 games, going to the NLCS is more cause for, hey, I want to see that team play, as opposed to let me watch this year because what this team could be in 2 years starts right now.
Right. But and that's what I don't get necessarily of why we still get excited about it. Grandpa in Sun Prairie here says, win, lose, or draw, the Brewers will never overtake the Packers or even Badger football. I don't think that's true. Spring training, just as the preseason football, is basically meaningless. An overwhelming amount of these guys that get the most playing time will not see the big leagues this season. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. So I'm trying to figure out why because I'll tell you what I was doing this weekend. I was trying to figure out, Tommy, how do I get to see the game? Where do I got to go? What do I got to do to put on some Brewers spring training baseball? Do you ever feel the need to go out and try to find, well, maybe you do because of our profession, but if you're out there going, how can I watch the Packers preseason game? Where do I got to go? What channel is it on this week?
No, but I do have some. I would love to know if other people had this problem yesterday. So I did know that it was like Brewers TV was going to have the preseason game.
Yep.
And I was talking about this with Mitch and Mason on whether or not I was going to buy Brewers TV or not, because I'm a streamer. Because of the fact that I'm probably going to be watching most games in this building, right? And so it'll be provided in that way. And why would I buy it on a personal level? Because it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be watching the game here anyway, right? However, yesterday it was being broadcasted how it was like watch for free at Brewers TV. I could not find the free option, and I spent the $100 to watch every single Brewers game. So maybe that was operator error on my part, and I couldn't get it. But any link I ever went to, it would redirect me to buy the full season package of Brewers TV. And I didn't spend a lot of time trying to go around, and I ended up just biting the bullet on the $100 because
did you really?
Yes. But just to watch a random spring training game that I'm pretty sure I took a nap during on top of it.
You paid $100 to see a spring training game.
But 100%. I did. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I was doing wrong. And I'm wondering if anyone else had that problem too. Call me an idiot if I was the guy who didn't figure it out. But ultimately, now I'll be able to watch Spurs already. If for some reason I'm not in this building, I will be able to watch them. I just couldn't figure out how to get the free version of the game yesterday, which was being advertised as watch for free at Brewers TV.
Yeah, I did see that they said that as long as you create an account, you don't need to sign up for anything. But if you create an account, you can get a free viewing of all.
Whenever
of the
I would
spring
try to
game.
hit like log in or sign in, it was like redirecting me to pick your package now.
Right.
So
go ahead and give us money.
That it was $100 like to watch a spring training game.
Nice. Hey, can I borrow your login?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
I wonder if they're gonna have that on. They're gonna have it somewhere. If you give me $100, I'll give you the login.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's hilarious that you think that it's just gonna be on in the station. Like it is. You're right. It will be on here in the building because we're all gonna take your login and put it in.
Right. I'm gonna have to start
that $100 is
that
$100 is how
we should do.
We're all gonna see it.
Well, I wonder if I can expense it. I didn't expense FanDuel last year. I was gonna have it on my own personal level too, but now I'm like in this building all day during those.
Yeah, try that and let me know how that goes. I'd like to know.
Moneybags Tommy Chonga from Wisconsin. I mean, I get it. It's dumb. Like I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't see it.
Milwaukee Tool Matt chimes in and he says, I like spring training a little bit more than preseason football, but to say the Brewers have overtaken the Packers in our state is preposterous.
Right.
Clearly, a lot of you guys missed our conversation when we talked about that last week because there were a bunch of people that said, no, I'm tuning in more into the Brewers. I for the record, I agree. I think that overall in the state, Packers still reign supreme, which is great because we're going to talk a little bit of Packers with some news about Elton Jenkins. Essentially, he's not going to be with the Packers anymore, but he was the only one we saw on this list from Bill Huber. So we said, let's talk to Bill Huber, and we're going to do that when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out. I'm Josh Albrecht. Tommy Wirtz filling in for him. And we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bill Huber coming up next. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out, Tommy Wirtz in for him. I'm Josh Albrecht. Hey, make sure to follow us on Twitter if you don't mind. I'm at On Air Josh. Tommy is at Tommy WSSP and the station at WI Sports Radio. And that is where you can watch us on YouTube and X, that being at WI Sports Radio. Quickly here, I wanted to just go to this text here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 920 said, Tommy, it was really easy to watch the spring training game. You just had to open the MLB app and boom, it was right there.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it on a computer, so maybe that was a different. Maybe it was different than an app. I went to the website.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you make sure to like take off any pop-up blockers or empty cookies?
No, Josh, I did not. I just wanted to watch the damn Brewers game. That's literally all I wanted to do.
Well, hopefully it is going to be easier for us to talk with our next guest, Bill Huber of SI.com. He joins us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Bill. How are you?
I'm great. How about you guys?
Oh, we're fantastic. We're fantastic.
$100 less rich because I had to sign up for Brewers TV yesterday on a spring training game, but otherwise we're doing all right, Bill.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's a tax write-off, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Hopefully.
You save like 50 cents from Uncle Sam. I mean, great, thanks.
Right.
That's all we're trying. That's what we're trying.
Maybe
Bill.
get that.
I am, however, not trying to save money like the Green Bay Packers are, Bill. And you were writing up on a piece about potential cut candidates across the NFL and writing on the wall. You're just saying it right now. Elton Jenkins seems to be at the top of that list for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I would think so. And I'm surprised. I mean, that just took off like gangbusters. Some aggregation site put it out there. It's like, was I breaking any large, shocking news here? I mean, look, Elton Jenkins has had a really good career here. They moved him to center, which he wanted to do. It didn't quite work out. I mean, he wasn't bad, but then he gets hurt. So his cap charge is like 24-point-something million, which is way more than any other center. His base salary is $18.5 million, which is way more than any other center. He's 30. He's coming off a season-ending injury. You know, like if he was 28, you could probably renegotiate it and extend it and take out some of the pain. But he's 30. It's like, it just seems like the most obvious thing in the world that they're going to move on from him. I'm not sure why it became such a hot scoop out there in the tweeter land, but it did. The downside here is you got to go find a center, right? Unless you re-sign Sean Ryan. But between him and Rashawn Gary, I mean, the Packers need some money, and there's a lot of money cap-wise to be gained there.
Well, and Bill, you just mentioned it. That was the big thing for me. And reading this article and seeing what you were looking for, my eyes immediately looking for the name Rashawn Gary and going, okay, yep, Elton Jenkins covered him, got it. Now where's the report that Rashawn Gary? And I wonder too if part of it is just the fan base being impatient and wanting to see some of the fat cut from this current Packers roster.
Yeah, Green Bay never does anything early. Almost never, I should say. I mean, it's pretty rare. I mean, they're a last-minute kind of organization. And, I'm sure behind the scenes they would like to say to Elton or Gary, hey, can you do less? And can we make up for it in incentives? I mean, they did it with Mason Crosby all those years ago when he had the one bad year that he had rather than cut him. Ted Thompson renegotiated his contract, and Mason was able to make it all back with incentives, and he did because he had a great year and continued his great career. So, I mean, I suppose if you're Green Bay, why there's no reason to do anything now because maybe you can work something out. The Gary one is interesting, and I would assume that they'll move on there too. But Micah Parsons obviously is probably not going to be ready for week one. When is he going to be ready to be Micah Parsons, right? I mean, it's going to be a while, presumably. Kingsland Agberry is a free agent. I'm sure they'd love to have him back, but I mean, who knows, right? I mean, some team might give him more money and Goody's going to go, that's just way too much. That's possible. So you need some defensive ends because otherwise, if they get rid of Gary and they lose an Agberry, that will leave them with Lucas Van Ness, Colin Oliver, who's played one game, and Barron Sorrell, who's played like a dozen games last year. So I mean, they need bodies. So I think that's probably part of it there too.
Bill Huber, Packers on SI, joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Follow him on Twitter at Bill Huber NFL. Bill, when you say the Packers don't do anything early or rarely do, what is this timetable then for the cut dates here? Because I've seen so many dates, like June 1st always feels like it's a big one. What is like the timeline we can expect to see something like this happen?
Yeah, I think the June 1st thing is a total nothing thing this year because you don't get any salary cap help this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it spreads out the pain over 2 years. So, I mean, that doesn't really do you any good if you're Goody and trying to shop in free agency. The key dates here, I'm looking up on I wrote a story about it here. March 11th is when you have to get underneath the salary cap. 3 p.m. Central to be exact. So I would assume they'd go before that. The so-called legal tampering period, which is basically the official start of free agency, is March 9th. But you have to get underneath the cap by March 11th. So that's the key day. Something will have to be worked out before then because they're at this point they're just a little over the cap, but they're going to need to get considerably over to take care of these things.
And then we've brought up those two names right there, Elton Jenkins and Rashawn Gary. Is anyone else on like a short list of being a part of that conversation?
You know, financially, probably not. You know, I don't think they're going to wash their hands of Aaron Banks after 1 year. I mean, that contract was just ridiculous. But by the end of the year, he was pretty decent. I mean, he wasn't like $19 million a year decent, which is what his average contract is. But you know, he'll probably get year 2. And Nate Hobbs, the cap savings is like practically zero. So there's no point in doing it unless you're just thinking, you know, this just isn't going to work out. Let's just cut bait on it. So those are probably the two that stand out otherwise. But I think Gary and Jenkins are the big ticket ones here.
Bill, back to Gary for a second. So you just got done saying that essentially the Packers might not be in their best interest to move on from Gary, just looking at who they have waiting in the wings and who's going to be ready to go for week 1. Is this the number one need then for the team? Because I wouldn't have told you it was with Micah Parsons coming back this season. But if we have to keep Gary because we don't have enough talent to put out there otherwise, that seems to move that to the top of the list, no?
Yeah, that's probably a bigger need. You know, I would think the most likely outcome is you do resign an Agberry. So then you'd have an Agberry, Ben Ness, you know, the guys that drafted last year, and then, you know, maybe get some sort of veteran guy in here, you know, kind of a 1-year rental sort of thing. So I would assume they'll have themselves covered there by the end of free agency. You know, to me, I mean, cornerback, which I said probably last year and in the years before, I think cornerback and defensive tackle too are the big ones to me. I mean, defensive tackle was a need even before they traded Kenny Clark last year. Then they ended up trading Clark as part of the Micah deal, and then you know, Wooden and Brooks and those guys, they did pretty well, all things considered, but you got to do better. So those two positions in center would be my big 3. You know, maybe you can, you know, maybe assign a defensive tackle in free agency. There's a pretty significant list of potential cut guys that I wrote about who could probably help you out on a 1-year rental kind of thing. And you go draft a cornerback and probably draft a center pretty early, and away you go, I would think.
One of those names that you brought up in your article is Kenny Clark. Do you see a reunion where Kenny Clark comes back?
You never say never. I mean, he was really beloved around here. And I think people will rightly say that he was not peak Kenny Clark during his last season, and that is true. I think, you know, the guy started 70-some games in a row. If you gave him a lighter workload, you know, it might be worth a shot if it's your best option. Never say never, right? Everybody left on good terms there.
It just seems to me that that's not the way that the Packers do things. You think about guys that are there for so long, and then you see them go to other teams and kind of fade away, and then you go, it looks like the Packers moved on from that guy at the right time. I saw that name in your article, and I went, I mean, that would be fun for the fans, but I'd be surprised if the brass actually made the move. Yeah, probably.
It's one of those things. He was on NFL.com's cut list, and how am I going to write the story and not put Kenny Clark in? I would get 20 questions. What about Kenny Clark? So it's one of those things. You better put him in there. So
I love
it. Again, just because they left on good terms. It's not like the Packers wanted to dump Kenny Clark. It was, you know, the Cowboys wanted him, so that was the deal that had to be made. So I wouldn't rule it out. You know, Calais Campbell from Arizona, who's going to be 40, which seems like the total thing the Packers would never in a million years do. If you want a defensive tackle, he makes a ton of sense. He's still a good player, and he played with Jonathan Gannon for 3 years. But just reading the quotes from back in the day, I mean, he was, you know, he really liked Gannon, and Gannon really liked him. So that one seems to make some sense to me.
Bill Huber, Packers on SI. Go check out his article here. Potential NFL cuts across the league that could cause more gain than pain for the Packers. You brought up one of the defensive tackle spots. On the cornerback side of things is the other position that you really highlight there, Bill. And I was wondering if you could just pick someone out without trying to give away everything here, make people go read it. Anyone you really like that is, first of all, is Green Bay, how active are they going to really be in this free agency? And then if they are going to be active in it, is it going to be for these two positions in your mind more so, cornerback and defensive tackle? And then who is maybe one of the more realistic options from your list here?
Sure. So I think on this story that we're talking about, I think they'll be highly active because these are the guys that don't impact compensatory draft picks. Like if the Green Bay goes and signs, the top cornerback, just as an unrestricted free agency, that's going to impact your compensatory picks. And Green Bay's probably going to get a third-round pick for losing Malik Willis. They could get a third-round pick for losing Rasheed Walker. That all depends on contracts. And after you don't have a first-round pick, these are 2027 picks they're talking about. So after trading Parsons, they don't have a first-round pick. So to me, it makes sense to collect as many of these compensatory picks as you can to help offset not having a first-rounder. So I don't think they're going to do much to upset the apple cart here, which means you're not going to go spend a lot of money and then lose third-round picks. So the guys that get cut, they don't impact that whatsoever. You could sign 1 million of these guys. Not 1 million. You don't have enough money for that, but you get my point. They could sign as many of these guys who are released as humanly possible, and that wouldn't impact the compensatory picks. So I think they'd be highly active in this, the guys that get cut kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought his name up there too. I'll sidetrack it a little bit. Malik Willis going to get $35 million, Bill?
Nothing would surprise me. If you look, now this is going to be super small sample size. I'm going to make up the numbers here because I don't have them in front of me, but I wrote the story. If you take every quarterback over the last 2 years who had like 40 passing attempts in one start, there's like 120 of those guys, 120 individual seasons. He had the number 1 passer rating and the number 2 passer rating.
Is that
good? 85%. He was 85% completion percentage last year, and it wasn't like he was dinking and dunking. He was throwing the ball downfield.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get a crap load of money.
Yeah. And he's going to Miami.
I would take him over Aaron Rodgers. I would take him over Daniel Jones. I mean, those are the guys in free agency, and apparently the draft class isn't that great. He's gonna do really well, and the Packers will get an easy third-round pick for him, and he's earned it. And the guy is unbelievable, which means Green Bay's got to go get a quarterback, or hope Desmond Ridder, who they signed late in the season, can be that guy who can step in a pinch.
Yay. We're talking to Bill Huber here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Bill, we haven't talked to you since Rich Bisaccia also stepped down as well. What do you think the focus is going to be on special teams during the rest of the offseason and coming into this upcoming season for the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, they got to get a coordinator, and I've written about 5 guys I've interviewed. I was giving them some names. I'm sure there's more than 5 that I've written about. There are some veteran guys out there. There's some, one guy who intrigues me is Devin Fitzsimmons. He was the assistant in Seattle last year. Seattle special teams, according to my own special teams rankings, were 3rd in the league. He's been an assistant under some really good guys. He's the kind of guy who jumps out at me. It'll be interesting though. Like they've got to get a returner, don't they? They just got to get.
They have one on their team, Bill. They just got to get him to play.
Well, he's also a starting corner.
Well, you didn't say a good starting corner. You didn't say that.
He's better. Here's the thing about Keyshawn Nixon. He's better than you think he is, and he's not as good as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
But
well said.
He's better than what they got, right? I mean, if they didn't have Keyshawn Nixon, then what?
Yeah, Carrington Valentine.
They had to play the playoff game with Carrington Valentine and Hobbs is injured.
Yeah, Hobbs was injured.
Bo Melton was injured. Kamal Haddon was injured. They had to gone into it with Shamar Bartholomew as the other starting cornerback. I'm not even making this up. It's what they had left.
Can he return kicks? Like, I don't know. Like, they're just all lost, it feels like, Bill.
Yeah. The thing was their special teams actually were pretty decent last year. Not great, but they were pretty decent. But it's just the complete inability to return a kick and then the colossal failures. It's like they didn't they didn't make many big plays, but the Dobbs fumble on the onside kick and the early season blocks, and then the playoff game. It's just like when they pooped the bed, it was well, it's early in the morning. I won't continue the analogy.
Yeah. Is it
wasn't pretty though?
Is it just a culture thing, Bill? Is that just like, is this just all we know?
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's the most bizarre thing. I mean, Rich Bisaccia was a legit coordinator. I mean, you look at the special teams rankings. He did a really good job wherever he'd been. He had a long history. This year they signed guys. I mean, they legit had guys in this roster because they played special teams. Bull Melton was one. Like they signed linebacker Nick Neiman, who was really good. So it's like they had special teams guys, and they had a veteran coordinator, and they still were terrible. It's like over the last 20 years of the special teams rankings, they've been a top 10 once, and last 4 times, and it's just absurd. It is really inexplicable how you can be that bad, that consistent. I mean, that consistently bad. It's just unbelievable.
I agree with you, Bill, and I'm hoping that, unfortunately, Rich Bisaccia, had to be the guy to be let go for us to hopefully find out why this Packers organization is having so many problems in the special teams department, and hopefully we get those answers. When we do, we know that we can hear and read all about them at SI.com and find more at Bill Huber, NFL on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining us, Bill. We appreciate it.
All right, take care, guys. Appreciate it.
Bill Huber joining us, SI.com, here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. When we come back, Tommy, I want to get back to a topic that we had and I had questions that I don't feel like got its due. We talked a little bit about some changes coming to the UW River Falls football team, and that had me wondering if, to all of our UW Green Bay fans out there, are they worried about any changes that could be coming to their basketball program? We're going to talk about that and more when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor out today, Tommy Wirtz in, and we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out. Tommy Wirtz in.
Mm-hmm.
We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Can I address the talk and text line real quick?
I would love it if you would, Tommy.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line if you want to be a part of the show. John and Franklin. Yes, Tommy, I went through the same crap last season. Just want to say that someone else also couldn't figure out how to watch the game.
In reference to you paying $100
for free.
In reality, just because you wanted to watch the free spring training game.
It's like I got exploited.
You
It's
did.
like someone had a picture of me and it was like, send me $100 or you'll never be able to watch Brewers baseball again. And I was like, well, can't let that happen.
Mike and Hubertus says that you have 5 days to get your money back.
Yeah. But
is that true? Do you know?
I don't know, but then I'm just gonna like
Here's
sign
the truth.
up with a different account.
Here's the truth, Mike. Okay.
He's
way too lazy.
No.
At this point, he's not putting in the work.
I could
He's
figure
not
it
doing
out. It's just like,
You're not doing it.
am I not going to be able to watch the next baseball game now? Like I can't. It's $100. I get to watch every game. Like it's a steal, but I probably didn't need to spend it.
Right. No, you absolutely didn't need to spend it. There were ways to get the game.
So far, we have one guy. All right. If it was the whole text line being like, you're an idiot, we're tied 1-1 right now.
Well, but I wonder if that's just because there's that many people that wanted to watch that spring training game that didn't already sign up. Because if people already went and they signed up right away for Brewers
But
TV.
anytime I ever went to try to sign up right now on air. Do it. Go to brewers.tv.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Just
We're not doing a radio show. That's fine.
See if you can try to sign up right now without getting redirected to pick your package, because that's exactly what happened to me on the website. I'm not talking about the app. I'm talking about if you sign up because you're watching the game on a computer like I was doing.
See, now I got to know my login.
Well, yeah, but you had a login already? But if you didn't have a login, where would you go? Like, because that's what I did. I didn't have a login for MLB TV because I didn't have it and I didn't pay for the regular coverage because all the blackouts and everything anyway. I'm just saying that if you were a first-time login sign-up guy, I was screwed. I don't know. I didn't know where to go. They definitely at least made it confusing enough so that it looked like all you had to do was pay the $100 at least.
Yeah, I gotta wait to get a code.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is impromptu radio, so it's fine. We can move on.
Listen, I understand. I understand your frustration, Tommy. Okay, I understand.
It's not
I'm
that
just
I'm
saying,
really
like, you gave up. You gave up the fight
immediately. Yeah, I'd never even. There was no fight. It was, hey, give me your money, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like that was,
and that's what I want everyone to know. That's the takeaway. If you're trying to do this, I don't know that everyone else is going to have as many
262. Tried to watch the game on my laptop, couldn't figure it out either. Just saying, it was not going well for a lot of people.
I'm sorry,
and that was so on purpose. That was so on purpose.
Of course it is. They want to get you to just give up.
That's
Click the
garbage.
button, give them money.
That's garbage.
What do you really? Is this really shocking to you?
Yes. I want people. I want the love of the game for the purity of the game. I want local TV to pick up spring training games. I want to be able to watch every single spring training game if I'm paying $100 already.
No, wait a minute. Are you saying that even after you signed up, it was still difficult to find?
No, once I paid for it, it was like, here's the game right here. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it was immediately behind the paywall. It was $100 and the game was on TV. It was that easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes they have those, if you download an app and it's free, but like they keep popping up the screen that says you got to buy the annual.
I didn't have an account. So
maybe
when I hit
you just
sign
had to
up,
find the X. Maybe the X was small.
What is this, a treasure map? I don't need to find the X on anywhere. I want to
click out.
No, there was none of that. It was none of that. Anything that I got redirected back to was like, pick your package. And, I had some company over. I was just ready to go. Wanted to watch the game. Like, no. And so I just bit the bullet, paid $100. And now it's 2-1. So kind of feels like it was BS. Which, again, I'm happy to pay. But still... They were like, oh, it's free. Like, then post the link, Brewers.
I mean, I promise you, during the next break, I will go through the process as far as I can to try to validate what you are saying. Because I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, just validate that it was difficult. Maybe there's a way But if you
I
don't,
promise you there's a way.
Okay, well, you better be
because that's
watching
false
baseball.
advertising
You better be
otherwise.
watching baseball at 8:00 when we come back.
I
You better be
mean,
watching a game.
Are they playing
I
right
don't care.
now?
We'll figure it out.
I don't think they are. I hope not, because we're talking to Jeff Levering in the next segment to start hour 3 here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll ask Jeff. We'll ask Jeff, hey, have you heard anything from other people on this being difficult? We'll find out. I'll tell you what's not difficult is sticking with us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Jeff Levering coming up next. I'm Josh Albrecht. That is Tommy Wirtz, and we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't
God
that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Points up behind the net. And it's Wierenski. Now Jeff Hughes puts it around the park. The United States with numbers. Watch across it comes. Jeff Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
I just need to let it play, Tommy.
Why don't we have the Akil Baddoo homer going over this?
Go ahead.
I don't got it right here.
Oh.
Otherwise I would have. Here we go. Why. Here we go. Freebird, Akil Baddoo edition.
First pitch swinging, sent deep out into center field. Back it goes. And this one is gone. Akil Baddoo. That's why he was signed to a one-year deal in the offseason.
I can't not play Freebird today.
Free Baddoo.
Free Baddoo. Oh, I love it. And I love all of you joining us for hour 3, the 8 a.m. hour of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out today. Tommy Wirtz in. The U.S. dominating Canada, dominating the rest of the world in hockey. Men, women, don't matter. They're coming home with gold. Shout out to the call from NBC and the Olympics there. Man, just so awesome. I don't know exactly how, but this can't be the last time that we're rocking Freebird coming back at the top of the hour. I'm so used to it now. Tommy, very glad that all of you are joining us. I gotta say we're gonna get to Jeff Levering here in a minute. During the break, as promised, after having Tommy struggle to be able to find the Brewers spring training game that led to him just signing up for the whole season at Brewers TV over the weekend, I logged in, I got to the screen very easily, was not difficult.
Okay.
Bing, bang, boom. But we did make a discovery. Select Brewers spring training games free if you do not have a subscription. So it's not like every single game, spring training game, is available if you do not have a package, which could have been the problem you ran into, Tommy.
I have questions for our next guest. I have questions.
Okay, well, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in now. Jeff Levering, the play-by-play voice of your Milwaukee Brewers, joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm cool. Good.
Well, I'm
good.
doing great.
I was wondering if you had
$100,
$100, Jeff. I was wondering if you had $100. I tried to sign up for Brewers TV yesterday. I just tried to do it for free. And whenever I signed up on the website, it kept redirecting me back. I was going to pay $100 to watch Brewers, so I'm really not that upset about it. But it feels like the argument was like, oh, well, this one is free today. And I kind of thought I could just go in and sign up for Brewers TV.
Well, you're gonna have to pay $100 no matter what. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
Right.
So
I know, Jeff. I know.
Essentially, the problem is he can't read.
No,
that was it. It was the reading part.
It's the
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I've known Jeff since last Wednesday, so we go way back on this. That makes sense.
No, listen. But the point is that it's a very easy process, right? All you had to do is go onto the screen, you click, and it's $100. Boom. Some games, yes, will be available for free, like Tuesday's game that I'll be live streaming with Rock and Sophia from Mesa. We'll be doing a live stream that will be free on Brewers.com. I think today's game is going to be on television, but it's the Padres broadcast. We're going to have our first TV broadcast as our maiden voyage on Saturday this coming week against Cincinnati, me, Rock, and Sophia. So
if I have
Brewers, available.
If I have Brewers TV, I can watch the Padres broadcast of the Brewers today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's fine.
Yes.
I'll take it. That works.
Yes.
We're good.
It is available. But if you want to, you can watch the video feed and switch to the Brewers audio feed if you would like, with Josh and Lane, if you would like to do that. Also,
There you go.
a fun feature of MLB TV.
Look at these options being provided to you, Tommy.
I'm just trapped in 1975, being born 26 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with any of this. I just want, I was just waiting to go watch some Brewers baseball. And I gave up pretty quick, Jeff. I did not try. I will say this. I just bought in.
That's okay. But the thing is that you can be that, but as soon as you get it, like, okay, we push go, we're all set, you know where to find it, it's really easy.
Yeah,
it's
it was
really
good.
easy.
It was really easy. How's Arizona treating you so far, Jeff? Weather's probably pretty awesome.
It has been very nice. Yes, I'm actually sitting in a parking lot right now, and as soon as we are done with our phone call, I'm going to go on a nice little 10-mile hike. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. Temperature's supposed to reach the mid 80s at some point today.
Cannot say that I would be going on a 10-mile hike, but I'm proud of you for doing so.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about just the feelings of the fact that baseball is back. It's here. They're playing. And we talked about it a little bit. This spring training just feels a little bit different. And I think it's because there's so much focus on these prospects and the fan base having to learn the names of the guys that might not be even wearing a Brewers uniform this season.
I think a lot of it is you've got the World Baseball Classic. So early on in camp, you're going to have the regulars playing a little bit more, right? You've got Bryce Terang, who's in there. He's going to have 3 at-bats a game, and Joey Ortiz. These guys are leaving to go play the World Baseball Classic, so they've got to be ready to go for that tournament. So once they're gone, though, you're going to see a lot of these prospects, a ton. You're going to see Jesus Midday. You're going to see Luis Pena a lot. And that's a good thing. They get exposed to the fan base and they get exposed to what it's going to look like as you move forward in the process. Those kids are 18 and 19 years old. They're in their first big league camps. It's a good thing for them. But it is a boring camp, and that's a good thing. That means your team was good the year before. It means your team is still good this year. And you didn't have to make a lot of moves. Yes, the Brewers made a couple of moves. Yes, you're getting to know a couple of names that you didn't know before, like a Jet Williams. We haven't seen Brandon Sproat pitch yet. Those types of things. But it's been a boring camp, and I hope it stays boring. And that means things are going in the right trajectory. That's okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We talked earlier in the show, Jeff, though, about there's just something about spring training in comparison to preseason football or preseason basketball. There's something about spring training that gets people excited. What do you think it is about spring training that makes Brewers fans more excited than Packers fans or Bucks fans before the games start counting for something?
So 2 things for me. Number one, it signals that good weather is on the way. Right. So it's okay. We're getting through the winter. Okay. Spring training is here, and boom, sunshine is out. We get a little beacon of sunshine that's on our face and stuff. You can come down to Arizona and hang out for a week or 2 or whatever you want to do, or a long weekend. And that just means that I can put my snowblower away and my snow stakes off my yard. Right. I think that's number one. I think number 2, it also allows Brewers fans and fans to get outside and gather again, right? There's something about baseball, the everyday part of it, that gets you excited, right? It's something that you can follow every single day. I get it. Packers fans, you get in the NFL, you get one day a week that you really get to dial in on your team, right? You get one Sunday or a Thursday or a Monday night game, but it's one day a week. And you're just kind of sitting there in the abyss for the other 6 days of the week until that game comes. For baseball, it's every day, right? All right, you win, let's go pile another one on. You lose, flush it. Let's go get them tomorrow. I think that's the beauty of what baseball brings, because it is every day, and you get to hang on every single pitch like it's the World Series.
Jeff Levering, Brewers broadcaster, joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Jeff, what are the first couple of vibes like right now in Arizona? It's kind of hard to gauge it, and I don't really know how much it really does matter. We saw the first 4 games of the year last year. Everyone thought the sky was falling with the Milwaukee Brewers, and they figured it out along the way. But does it feel any different right now coming off that 97 win season, or is it a little more business as usual, getting back and acclimated to things in the early part of spring?
I'd say it's more business as usual. I don't worry about the 0-3 start. I mean, we've seen 2 big league pitchers, I think, so far. 3 if you count Logan Henderson, but I didn't see him yesterday. He was out at Camelback Ranch, and I was doing the home game. So we saw Gasser yesterday, and we saw DL Hall pitch. And everybody else is minor leaguers. It's somebody new every single inning. We've seen a handful of the regular position players get in there. Bowers had a couple of hits yesterday and a walk, and Contreras hit a ball that I thought was going to go through the wall for an RBI double. So, I mean, I think it's business as usual. I think the vibes are good. I think everybody in that clubhouse is excited, ready to be back. And at this point, I mean, we're not, what is it, February 23rd today? I mean, we still got a long way to go until opening day, which is the 26th of March. The Brewers are going to break camp a month from yesterday, March 22nd. So we still got a lot of ways to go. But I think the vibes are really good. And like I said before, a lot of the team is back from last year. So you have that cohesiveness with everybody in that group that, all right, guys, let's go run it back.
Are the Brewers going to be the best ABS Challenge team in Major League Baseball? That's my other question, too, because we talked about this a little bit on Thursday, how, I don't know, I'm kind of worried about the stacks of them in a game to disrupt the pace. When you go 5 for 5, and then I think they lost one at the end, it was a notable change in pace in the game, Jeff, because it was a bad day for the umpire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's super invasive, though. And I think as the umpires continue to get better as the year progresses too, you're going to see fewer and fewer challenges. I mean, I think we saw something yesterday that won't be seen for the rest of the year, which was a first pitch challenge. William Contreras challenged the first pitch and he got it right. All right, here we go. This is awesome. But I do love the fact that it only takes about 10 to 15 seconds for the whole graphic to run. And okay, here we go. Let's load the thing up. And all right, it's either a strike or it's a ball, and let's play on. It's not like they have to go over to the monitor and listen to the people in New York and do all the other things. It's pretty instantaneous. And I think it's fun for the crowd. Everybody's attention is on the scoreboard, and it's an ooh and an ah moment. And all right, bring it on.
Yeah, I think it's no different than when they go to replay in any sport. You're going, okay, all right.
But they want it to be, Josh.
Let me be the judge.
You can't
here.
say it's like it's going to replay in any sport. This is like, to Jeff's point, like not invasive. Like you want to keep this thing moving. So it can't be you. If you're like, oh, it's like replaying any sport. I think that's not what Major League Baseball is trying to do. Does that sound right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's true. It's more in and out in tennis. It's very quick like that. It's okay. Let's challenge it. It's going to be done at a maximum 17 seconds. That's it. 17 seconds.
But to your point, Jeff, even in tennis, when you see that and they show that graphic on the screen, as a fan, you're going, oh, yep, look at that. That's what I thought too. Like it's still part of the viewership and the experience. Is
right
looking at the screen and trying to, that's what I thought too. I thought that was a little high. Yep.
Right. Of course. And I think it's going to be fun on our graphics. It's going to be a little bit different this year on TV too. We're not going to have the instantaneous ball strike. You'll still see the box, but it's going to be somewhat subtle, which I like. I really like that because it brings some thought back into your mind going, okay, well, is that a ball? Is that a strike? I'm not sure. It looked pretty good. So I think that's a really good thing for the fan too.
The other thing, Jeff, I wanted to ask you was for the people, because you brought up shouldn't be worried about the 0-3 start. It's spring training, right? We're not supposed to be watching the games, looking at the score. So for people that are used to watching baseball one way, worrying about, who has the most runs in the game, how are people supposed to be watching a spring training game, and how does it differ like on the field from the coaching staff to when they're making decisions on who's going to get an at bat, who's going to pitch for how long? How does all that play out, and are you aware of how that's all happening during the game?
No, I have no clue how anything is going to pan out over the course of a game. I don't know who's going in where. I don't know where in the batting lineup they're going to go, and it's kind of musical chairs. If you listen to our broadcasts in about the 5th or 6th inning, sometimes the 7th inning, we spend most of that time going over the changes because we have no idea, especially for some of the visiting teams that have no nameplates on there. Yesterday, we had 2 number 77s playing on the right side of the infield for Kansas City. It's like, dude, I feel like I'm doing college football again, and someone's got to change their jersey because they're on the punt team. I'm kidding you not. There might be an opportunity this year where I make up a name or six. So that is highly not guys on the Brewers team, but maybe guys on another team. That
really
might
quick, right
happen
now,
at some point in life.
You got to make up a name. Guy's coming to the plate. He's got no name. Number 39. Who is it?
Johnny Havasticks. For
Johnny
sure.
Havasticks. Guy can swing it. Johnny Havasticks.
I need a Havasticks alt jersey for sure.
I love it. I love
Projectable body. He's got 4 of the 5 tools for sure.
Does everything the right way. First guy in, last one out. Yeah, yep. I got you.
He's a locker room leader. You know,
yeah.
You need those guys.
Fly ball to Havasticks. He's got it.
He's a glue guy.
I
love it.
I wanted to ask you, does it get like when you're broadcasting spring training, does it give you like a little bit more of like your upbringing in broadcasting, right? I know you came from Pawtucket, right? And I'm assuming you had a whole bunch beforehand. So the first question of this, broadcasting a Major League Baseball game, is it significantly easier than broadcasting at the minor league or independent league, wherever you come from? And then do you kind of feel like you go back into that realm just a little bit every spring?
I wouldn't say it's easier. I mean, there's significantly a lot more information when you get to the big league level. So it's kind of pick your poison, and you know who the players are, right? That's the biggest thing. But when you're in the minor leagues, I mean, heck, I know a lot of the people that I was in the minor leagues with better still to this day than some of the guys that have come to the Brewers clubhouse. Just because you're with them on the buses, I mean, you are in it at that point, right? I mean, Andrew Romine is a guy who's in the Brewers organization as a coach now, as a minor league infield coordinator. He was on the 2009 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes team with me. And we ran into a couple of booster parents from that A-ball club the other day on the backfields. So we were just reminiscing about the 2009 team, and we're coming up with names. And I went, oh my gosh, yeah, totally. And I remember those guys, and I remember moments better from some of those minor league seasons than I do in the big leagues, just because you're in it. But I do kind of harken back to the minor league days sometimes when you're late in a game and the game's kind of crummy and you go, gosh, who's really listening to this game right now? People are always listening. And I never take that for granted. So yesterday, some guy came in for the Royals. His name was Zobak. And I went, Zobak reminds me of Dale Doback from Step Brothers. so we went on a Step Brothers tangent there for a couple of minutes. But it's just, you just try and have fun with it, right? And that's what baseball is all about when it's all said and done.
Yeah, Jeff Levering calling for Johnny Hopkins at second base.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, Jeff, thank you. We appreciate the time this morning. We look forward to listening to you and watching you on Brewers TV. Select games if you aren't Tommy and have already signed up. Otherwise, we cannot wait for the games to count. We're only 30-some days away. We can't wait. Thanks so much, Jeff, for joining us today.
You got it, guys. Take care.
All right. Jeff Levering, the voice of your Milwaukee Brewers, joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Oh man, now I can't wait to just be listening to Jeff for spring training games. Just trying to was that a made up name?
One of those is going to be a fake name, right? Yeah,
Johnny Havasticks. That was
Havasticks is good.
That was incredible. Whew. All right, we got a bunch more to get to when we come back, and I promise we're going to talk about this. I want to talk to the UW Green Bay fans. I want to know, are you guys worried about losing Doug Gottlieb? Because in UW River Falls, I don't know if they were worried about losing their coach, but they did. We're going to talk about that and more when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor out, Tommy Wirtz in, and you're listening to us live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor is out. I'm Josh Albrecht. Tommy Wirtz in. It's a Monday, although this is the last one for now, the last planned one.
I mean, like, I've been saying that, and
then you're here.
Well, I've been saying that leading up until this Monday, like starting Friday. I'm like, it's the last one. And then the people I tell, they're like, why would you say that?
Because
like,
now, yeah,
like next Monday, one of you guys is going to have like this super important water polo tournament to be at that I'm going to have to come fill in for one of you guys.
I think I actually might need Monday off to sign up for Brewers TV. I've heard it's super complicated.
Take an hour.
I've heard it's
going
super
to cost you
complicated.
$100.
Might need some help. We appreciate all of you joining us all over the state on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. 99.7 WNFL in Green Bay, 93.9 The Game in Wausau, 710 The Game in Duluth Superior, and 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan in Milwaukee. Make sure to follow us on social media at WI Sports Radio. You can watch us there, see all of our news and content on Twitter and YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at OnAirJosh and Tommy at Tommy WSSP.
One thing here just to bring up, just because it just dropped here. If anyone's curious, the NFL Combine schedule for Indianapolis just dropped with media availability talking about for the 24th through the 28th, while the drills begin on Thursday, February 26th. They'll start at 2 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. again for Friday, noon on Saturday, and Sunday also starts at noon. First group of people that go on Thursday, defensive line, linebackers, and kickers. On Friday, it is defensive backs and tight ends, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. So that's the big day. On Saturday, Sunday, the offensive line.
Did you get all that? I hope you did.
Yeah.
I hope you wrote it all down.
Correct.
Hey, I've been trying to talk about this all show. I'm going to get it in now. So in case you missed it, over the weekend, Matt Walker, the UW River Falls football head coach, who won the national championship. We had Matt on the show after doing so. He's out at UW River Falls, and he's moving on to Drake. He's taken over a D1 program at Drake. And I can't say that I'm necessarily surprised, right? This is what happens when you see guys that are at smaller programs and they make an impact and they make huge improvement. They start getting on people's radars, and then bigger schools will come and pick them up because they have the money to pay them. And it had me wondering, to the Green Bay, UW Green Bay fans out there that are listening on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, are any of you guys worried about losing Doug Gottlieb? It's a big change from what happened at UWGB last year in comparison to the story of what UWGB has been this year. I'm not necessarily saying that it's going to happen at the end of this season. Maybe it's happens next season if he even stays at the pace of what UWGB and the Phoenix have been this year. But I'm curious, is that a concern? Are the Phoenix fans worried about losing Doug Gottlieb? 920 says, didn't River Falls win a championship? Gottlieb hasn't won anything. So my answer would be no. Yeah, he hasn't won anything yet, but they have a very good chance of being second overall in the Horizon League Conference. And Tommy, you talked about it in the 6 o'clock hour. You said if they find a way to win the Horizon League tournament and they make it to the big dance, you think he's gone.
Well, I would say making it to the big dance doesn't necessarily qualify. If he won a game at the tournament, if they got an upset,
well,
gone.
Yeah,
See ya.
yeah.
Like,
that
he's
would
out,
be crazy.
for sure. But yeah, maybe making the tournament, like, throws a couple feelers out there. And I know that some people are saying in here as well that we had a text come in, like, aren't they Division I? It's not the same thing. Yeah, they are, but there are 5 major conferences, obviously, in college basketball, with including the Big East instead of the old Pac-12. Who's to say that there's not a team that would be looking out for a guy like Doug Gottlieb, because he can bring in a lot of noise to your program based on his platform he's had in Green Bay and his platforms he had on the radio show already. It's a great turnaround from year 1 to year 2, right? No one thought they would win more games than Marquette this year. They won 4 games last season.
Correct.
Now, I think that Doug Gottlieb naturally has brought some attention to himself because of his personality type. And I think some college coaches would see that, or college programs would see that and see NIL opportunities, see booster contribution, and really maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing. All he's got to do is he can prove he can win at a lower level.
Well, and that's the natural progression of how these things work, by the way, right? Is that if you are a school in the Horizon League, in one of these smaller conferences, and you're making noise, that's usually when the coaches move on, especially because of recruiting and the nil era and all those things that go along with college athletics today. It's usually you go from a lower program to a, not a high name, but a recognizable name program. And then if you continue success, then you get bought out by even a bigger program that makes even more noise. That's kind of the trajectory that a lot of times you find when it comes to college coaching. And we saw it with Matt Walker out at UW River Falls. For those that didn't hear, he is now moving to Drake. Love the Drake, hate the Drake. But interested to see if any of you are worried about the same thing happening with Doug Gottlieb. Jeff from Luxembourg says, I think Green Bay fans may have a little PTSD from Sonny doing a one and done. But that being said, unless Doug Gottlieb makes the tournament this year and wins a game in it, he's in Green Bay next year.
That's kind of where that's where I'm at, right? Like I said, if he wins a playoff or if he wins a tournament game, like then things get interesting maybe. But I mean, they're going to be a 16, a 15 maybe if they do. So it would take a colossal upset if they were, and they still got to make it, right? They're not even number one on the horizon.
I will tell you this: if they make it, they still need to win. No matter what, they got to win the tournament.
Right.
That's how it works. Even if they were the first, they won the conference. Doesn't matter. They got to win the conference tournament to make the March Madness tournament.
You prepared for a 3-hour UW Green Bay show with Trevor Thomas if they win a tournament game?
I mean, that's like
that will happen.
Here's the thing:
It's
if that happens, I'm all about it, because that would be absolutely crazy electric news if that actually came to fruition.
Do you think he'd get Doug before the first tournament game? He's still going to pop in on a Wednesday, or he's got to be locked in?
No, absolutely, he'll be.
All right.
No, I would think he would be. Here's the thing. If they do, I hope they become a 15. I don't want to see them be a team that plays in the first four. I did ask Doug that. I did say, would you rather be a 16 or a 15? And he said 16 because it gives you an opportunity to then be highlighted twice. You just want more games.
Sure.
So he wants to be one of the 16s that would play each other in the first four to then win that game and then go. And then even if they get demolished by a 1 seed, that's 2 more times that UWGB is on the national stage. That's his mentality with it. I don't know why. I'm just looking at statistics of 15-2 upsets in comparison to 16-1 upsets. And I'm going, I'd rather have you as a 15 seed, I think.
Were either Fairleigh Dickinson or UMBC in that play-in game? Or did they just go up against
That's
Purdue
a good question.
Virginia?
I don't know.
Find it here now. I'm looking.
I do not know. But the fact that those are the two, right? And I remember when it happened the first time, we went, we will never see this again. And then we saw it again quite soon.
I think the Fairleigh Dickinson one was even bigger, honestly. I know Virginia was really good and they won the national championship the next year, but you're talking about a team that was a 23.5-point dog and then going up against a team that had a guy who was 7'5" on the other side. Like, that was so improbable. How do you not just dominate with Zach Edey if you're Purdue at that point? So regardless, I think Doug's got to win a playoff game for anyone to really be too concerned about it. But if you do win the Horizon, it gives you a chance to showcase yourself a little bit. And like I said, just with his personality type, I don't think he's trying to audition for other jobs when he is coaching. I think he is fully focused in on UW Green Bay, but he brings attention. Like, that is Doug Gottlieb. And so if he wins a playoff or a tournament game, he's going to be there. He's gone.
And he's made it clear on our show when we talk to him on Wednesdays, which of course every Wednesday at 8 a.m. we have Doug Gottlieb on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. But when we're talking to him, I mean, he's laying it out. He knows the game. He knows what he's doing. He knows the importance of recruiting. He knows the importance of making waves and getting the name out there and he's done that. He's done that all season long. I feel like there have been a lot of people in the state alone who have tuned into our show and said, why are we talking so much about UW Green Bay? Well, it's because Doug keeps making UWGB news. the Doug Gottlieb alone has put UWGB on a national level, and they're playing well. So it wouldn't be crazy to think that Doug Gottlieb could eventually take that next step. I just don't know if it's this year, next year, or beyond. We will see. We go back to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. The 920 says, if Doug leaves, hope that school has a budget to cover clipboards. That was my thought too, and yet he hasn't broken clipboards. I think he's only broken one all season. Like that doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't even count. 920 also says, a different one here, hopefully Doug stays, but we will use, if he does, we'll use a Wolf of Wall Street scene like Giannis did with the Bucks.
Just local media trying to send Doug Gottlieb away before national media trying to send Giannis away. Same energy. I get it.
Let's look at the 608. This Jeff from Luxembourg. So question for Tommy Chonga. By the way, my opinion, Tommy Chonga gone. Big time Tommy is here. Tommy Chonga slept on the couch in the studio.
Yeah.
Big time Tommy sleeps at home and comes in and sets an alarm and gets
2 times
gets
now.
up in the he's 2 for 2 in doing that. But he says, so Tommy, Milwaukee is down this year, but Bart Lundy has had very good runs overall. Why hasn't he landed a bigger job yet? I feel he is closer to leaving the Horizon League than Doug is.
Yeah, maybe. But on top of that, I mean, look at like Bruce Pearl, right? I mean, that was a guy who was at Milwaukee and then found his way to another job. Platteville had Bo Ryan found his way to another job, and Platteville is the more comparable to the Matt Walker situation that we're going off of. But I mean, I don't think that Bart Lundy is the personality that Doug Gottlieb is. And especially when I think of college basketball in this era, it's more prevalent now. College basketball is run by the coaches. I mean, you're talking the Caliparis, the old school Coach K's, the Patinos, the Boeheims, and I'm missing more. Roy Williams, Bill Self, right? Like you associate these programs with their head coach. And in the NIL era, even more so because the turnover is so crazy and you got to find a way to retain these guys and to bring in the new wave, like the personality it takes to be a college basketball coach. It takes a very large personality. Doug Gottlieb has that.
Well, I also think that it's a little bit about just how quickly you're drawing that attention, right? Doug is going from a terrible season to an amazing season very quick. He's making the noise. People can't necessarily ignore what Doug's doing, and that's what makes him the hot ticket right now, right? To Jeff's point, Bart has had a great career overall as a head coach. He has a 674 winning percentage.
Yeah, he's solid.
So it's not like he's a bad coach or that he wouldn't be there, but he's been with Milwaukee since 2022. If he had a season where they were making the type of noise that UWGB is, if they went and won and made the tournament, who knows? It could be Bart that gets that call too. It just doesn't seem like Bart, to your point, Tommy, has that type of effect, especially in a short turnaround that is getting the rest of the national media talking, that is putting Doug on other people's radars. Again, this whole idea, this whole conversation, coming from the fact that Matt Walker is out at UW River Falls after winning the D3 national championship, and he is on his way to Drake. Nothing coming out that's saying that Doug is, fielding offers for new jobs. Right. It's just us saying, hey, here's a program in UW River Falls that thought, this is great. Let's run it back. Let's get another national championship with Matt Walker. Our coach is great. He's built this program. He's out. He's on his way to Drake. Are Green Bay fans worried that with the success that Doug Gottlieb has had with this program, that they could be in a similar boat? We'll find out. For now, UWGB, they still got some work to do. We also have some work to do. We're going to do that work with our friends from 9 to noon. We're going to have a little crossover segment when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas will be back tomorrow, but he's out today. Tommy Wirtz filling in for him. And we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stay tuned. Crossover with the boys from 9 to noon coming up next. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor out. I'm Josh Albrecht. Tommy Wirtz filling in today. Thank you, Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Joining us for another Monday. Hey, if you missed any part of today's show, including the awesome interviews we had with Bill Huber and Jeff Levering, you can listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also just go to WI Sports Radio. You can find those interviews or listen to any hour of the show. Just search Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite app. Hit the follow button, and you can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, whenever works for you. Right now, we welcome on John Kuhn from 9 to noon with Kuhn and Rami Maklov. John, how we doing?
We're good. We're good. Hey, can I ask you a quick question?
I would love if you would. Yeah.
You know, listening to the last segment, I heard you guys talking about Doug Gottlieb.
Yeah.
And whether people are worried that he could be leaving for greener pastures after this season. Now, I just want to, where does that come from? Where does it come from that we can't just enjoy the good times? Every time something good's happening, it's like, but around the corner, you know, something bad's going to happen here. I mean, this is Wisconsin. So,
well,
you know, something bad's inevitably going to happen. And when something bad happens, it's like, oh my gosh, it's over. The world is ending. And like, when can we just appreciate what is going on with the sports in the state?
Is it a bad thing, though?
Well,
Also.
hold on.
Oh, it's super bad, Tommy. It's super half glass empty.
The reason why is because Matt Walker, UW River Falls head football coach, is out at UW River Falls. He's going to Drake.
Yeah.
And so that was the catalyst, the nucleus of the thought was, you know, UW River Falls just got this championship. They're all sorts of hyped, and he's moving on. It's not that they don't appreciate what he did, and I don't think that UWGB fans wouldn't appreciate everything that Doug's did, but it is kind of part of the progression, John. It's what happens, right? These coaches get bigger opportunities. You don't think that Doug wants to eventually coach a team that has a legitimate chance of winning a national championship?
And to clarify, we have created
Green Bay doesn't?
Well, of winning a national championship? No, not in basketball. No. No, I mean that. Come on, John. Like, no, that we have fully just made this narrative up. Okay, there's no reports or anything.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's all speculation based off of Matt Walker. But ultimately, we just looked it up, and he's making $250,000 as the head basketball coach at UW Green Bay, which is a great chunk of change. That's awesome. Well, then we went and looked it up, and he makes $400,000 less than being the head women's basketball coach at Wisconsin, right? I mean, he can go out and make a much greener pasture for himself, at least, John.
I would say this. Do you remember talking with Brian Butch, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Of
Do you
course.
remember talking with Brian Butch?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Butchie used to tell us it's not always about the national championship, that a Big Ten championship was more important
I sure
to him
do.
and his team when they were on, winning Big Ten championships in the regular season and then the Big Ten tournament and everything like that. How do you know the Horizon League is not just – that's not fulfilling enough, to win the Horizon League, and they haven't even done that yet. So, I mean, there are still boxes to be checked here in the rebuilding of this program.
Now, that's a fair point of there still being boxes to be checked. However, because I know certain people like yourself who are ultra competitive people, ultra competitive athletes, coaches, people that find success because they are never satisfied. And that's the difference, John, is that if you are Gottlieb or any of these people that have made it into a head coaching role in D1 college athletics, I don't think that you sit there and you go, you know what? No, I'm good here. I think that you always want to be better. You always want to get to that next pinnacle. And I would be stunned if that's not how Doug Gottlieb feels.
His personality fits big-time college basketball coach. I'm sure you heard it in the last time. I mean, when you think of college basketball, the schools are very synonymous with coaches, right? Coach K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, Rick Pitino, like Doug Gottlieb, with the nature of who he is as a person, could be a personality that you associate with a big-time college program.
Yeah, of course. But what is GB right now? Are they 12-6 in the conference?
I just had this up. I know they're in second. For
12-6 in the conference.
Right now they are 11-8 in the conference.
Okay, 11-8 in the conference.
Good enough.
I mean, I just don't you feel like he's it's still unfinished business there. Like, I know they're second in the conference, but don't you feel like it's unfinished business yet? I mean, that you're already,
they were 4-28 last year.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. But I mean, to me, you got to come back. Like Doug is, you said, super competitive. I don't consider, like, if they got to the end of the season, they don't win the Horizon League. Is he gonna consider that a job well done in Green Bay yet? Is he going to consider that? You said he's super competitive. I would anticipate he want to come back, win the Horizon League, like complete the task here at Green Bay of rebuilding this program, and then consider going somewhere else.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens from it for sure. John, you're a hockey guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty awesome yesterday, right?
Yeah. That was it didn't suck. I'll tell you this: to wake up, be locked in at 7 a.m.
Yeah,
the kids are locked in, the wife is locked in, and everybody's screaming and yelling at a television for a hockey match. That was damn cool what we saw yesterday. And not just yesterday, but go back to Thursday when the women won as well in just as dramatic fashion, scoring a goal in the last 3 minutes of the game and then scoring again in overtime over Canada. U.S. hockey now has a claim to fame for the next 4 years. I mean, I know they have World Cups and everything else, but at least, Olympic wise for the next 4 years, they're the gold carrying country in both the men and the women's side of the ice. So a little shot at our neighbor up north to do this, but man, I got to tell you, that game yesterday was everything you wanted, and they held on second period, third period, and then into overtime to win that the way that they did with Jack Hughes and his broken tooth and the flag around his shoulders. I mean, what a way to end the Olympics.
John, do you think, this is the big question, and we'll ask you on the way out here, do you think that there is carryover from this to where now the NHL sees a surge in popularity?
Well, you'll have to listen to 9 and In. Coming up in about 7 minutes.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called a professional tease. We will do just that. Thanks, John. We'll catch up with you soon. All right. Thank you again so much to everyone who tuned in to today's episode of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Thanks again, Tommy, for being here. Appreciate you.
Freebird.
How much are you playing Freebird on the Mason Crosby show later?
Might just be bed music the entire show, just underneath.
Yeah.
We'll just talk over Freebird.
Probably should be.
Can I'll AI generate like a Mason Crosby show intro with Freebird instead.
Just AI? AI it?
I mean, everything's AI now, so.
I don't know. We made the open for today's show. Probably, you got some time. You can probably figure out a way to do it.
Figure it out.
Yeah, maybe. All right. We appreciate you joining us for today's show. Again, thank you to Tommy Wirtz for filling in for Trevor Thomas. Trevor will be back on tomorrow's show. This has been Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tune in tomorrow because we are not done yet.